so today I'm going to show what I do for my coloring. I know I get a lot of comments on my coloring, so I figured I would show you guys what I do for that. I mostly just use the Magic Bullet Looks plugin, and I also use Sapphire for the flickering effect, and not always, but sometimes, and then sharpening effect. My coloring does vary like every edit, so I do have a preset that I do use, but I do change the settings pretty much every single edit, so it never really does look exactly the same. I already have 3 different clips here with my Twixtor applied and just some basic like zooms, just so that you can see how the coloring affects each clip, because this part of editing I tend to spend the most time on, mostly because I enjoy it the most, and also because I can get pretty into it. Like, I will literally adjust like each clip individually on its own, so sometimes this can take some time. But anyways, let's go into our effects and presets panel over here. I'm gonna pull up my presets, so I'm just gonna type in coloring because that's what I named them. Here, I don't know, I got the name backwards on this. That's kind of annoying. I'm gonna change that later. So I got blue, brown, purple. Let's do, I've been using this blue one a lot lately, so I'm going to do that and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, sorry, let me backtrack here before I drag it anywhere. You want to do a adjustment layer, so I'm gonna hold Control Alt and Y. Okay, so we have an adjustment layer up here. Let's cut that and delete the rest just because I'm not covering the entire length of this video. So the adjustment layer is basically a blank canvas. Like, you can put any effects that you want on here and it's going to affect whatever is underneath of it. And this is like a clean way of working because everything is going to just be on this layer. Theoretically, like, yes, you can add stuff to the composition itself, which I do. It depends. But for my coloring, I do like to have it on a separate adjustment layer because it's just cleaner that way. So now I'm going to drag my coloring preset onto this adjustment layer. And since you will not have this, I'm just going to walk you through what I kind of did here to get this coloring. So already you can see it's kind of crazy as hell. Very bright. So firstly, let's go over what the coloring is. So on top of here, I do have Sapphire pseudo color, and these are my settings. You can copy these if you would like. I can show you what it looks like without the rest of this crap. So I'm gonna hold Shift, and so I can select all of these together, and I'm gonna disable them with this little icon, okay? I turned it all off, and this is what the pseudo color looks like on its own. So this is without, and this is with. Kind of a subtle, like, green kind of color. So I'm gonna turn all of this back on. And I have an unsharp mask 2, and a sharpen effect. And I can just show you, if I uncheck these, that's what it looks like without them. And like I said, I change all of these settings like every single time I make an edit, so don't be afraid to not copy this exactly, because sometimes I do not have all of this stuff enabled. Depends on what I feel like. So I'm gonna leave that one unchecked because it looks kind of too much for me right now. And underneath that, I have the Magic Bullet Looks effect. I've had this preset for so long. I think if you just, yeah, here we go. If you have this preset installed, you can type in looks, and it is right here, I believe. I'm sorry. This one, Red Giant Magic Bullet Looks. So that is what you would drag onto your adjustment layer if you wanted to do that. And when you drag it in here, and you look, this is your effect controls adjustment layer. You can click on edit right here, and inside of it, I have these effects. So I have gradual exposure. I actually don't have it on, but if I slide this up, it gives you like a darkening, like a vignette kind of on the bottom of the edit. The diffusion, these are all like this, and this. These are all like the crazy lighting effect right here. So you can see maybe this, it's like very subtle in this clip right here. You can see it changing. You can like change the colors here. It's very subtle. It really depends on the coloring and the lighting of the clip that you're using. And this one I think is the most noticeable. I have it set very low. As you can see, it can get pretty crazy. And this clip is very dark, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then I have a colorista right here. And I do change all of this stuff. Here's the exposure, contrast, saturation. Like there's a lot of settings in here that you can mess around with. I do not really go down here very often, so this is all just default. So yeah, these are the ones that I use. The way that you put these in here is you click on the tools, and they're all gonna be in here. There's a ton of different effects that you can experiment with if you're bored. Like this, you want to put that in here. Gives you like this cool effect on the corners, and you can just click somewhere out of there and change it so you can see it's, yeah, have fun with it, basically. I'm gonna close out of there. And then I have a flicker. So sometimes I don't use the flicker. This is what it looks like without. And I'm going to turn it on here. And that's with the flickering. It's kind of subtle here. Yeah, that is my coloring preset. So after I put it in here, I'm obviously like, whoa, these clips kind of look crazy right now. What I always do is I go back into my presets, or my effects and presets panel, and I'm going to type in levels. I'm just going to use a regular levels, no plugins needed for this. I'm going to just put it on this middle clip here because it's very bright. And I'm going to tone this down a little bit. And this is all just like trial and error. You can just mess with these little triangles to change the levels of the lighting. And sometimes I will just go back into the actual coloring and change stuff from there, but I find it kind of easier to just put a levels on the clip and do it that way. So let's put one on here. This one is like not too bad, but again, like it's very bright in the top, in his top right here, so I would actually change some settings like in the actual coloring, probably. Yeah, that one's very bright. So let's put that over here. And again, I'm just gonna drag this over. I'm gonna turn this down. So it's like very dark. Let's go back into the Magic Bullet settings, and it's usually this one right here, the haze, that is causing that. So I can like lower this down make it softer or sharper like that. Maybe lower that down. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah. So if I do that, I can adjust the levels again. So it's just really like playing back and forth with both of these things to make it to how I like it. So yeah, that's not too terrible. And I'll turn the flicker back on to see how that looks. That's cute. Okay, that's all I have, I think. Just message me if you have any questions.